is a dyslexic, I see. Oh my goodness. I see you, man. Welcome back to R&R on Sports. We have fun around here, don't we? Oh my goodness. Hey, listen, man. Our producer, J-Rock, Jeremy McKnight, he was doing, he looked like a kid, like he had just trying to count. That was Red Fox. He was like, that was Red Fox, right? Like, what you trying to do? Anyway, what's up? We are pleased to have with us, as always, one of our very own and ESPN's own, Brother Robert Scoop Jackson. Robert Jackson. You speaking French? Robert. You speaking French now? That's right, I can do that. Oh, go ahead with your bad self. Yeah. What's up, Scoop-a-doo?
What's going on? How y'all doing, man?
We best we can. Yeah, I'm telling you, under the circumstances. I'm telling you. You know, I'm trying to social distance, but Howard keeps trying to get a. I'm trying to back up away from this brother. I want to be close to you. Man, don't bro, you too close. Period. So you just need to stand out on the porch and do the show.
Look, if neither one of y'all tested positive by now, y'all.
My motherland mask. Your motherland. Yeah, he got a little mask company, y'all. So he got Motherland Mask. So go to Amazon and get you a Motherland mask. That's right. Okay, is that right? Come on. You supposed to do the selling. I don't get no royalties. No. So the hell with your mask. You're going to be asking for something. Hold up. Well, shoot, if everybody getting their mask on, then let me do what I'm supposed to do.
There you go. We all in now.
Now I feel much safer now. We're socially distanced and politically correct. I feel much safer now, although I can't breathe worth a damn. But it's because his nose is so big. So, Scoop, how you doing, man? Talk to us. Talk to us about your perspective, from your perspective, in terms of the state of this thing that we know as sports, which is unlike anything that's ever happened before in human history.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here like you all are, watching it unfold and watching it unfold in different ways. Like we're watching the NBA, come back seemingly seamless in how they're executing and unfolding the relaunch of their season. But at the same time, you're looking at another sport and you're looking at what's going on in Major League Baseball, and it seems to be chaotic and out of control and it's chaotic on a whole lot
of levels.
Yeah, it is. But it seems like it's going to victimizing the leadership of Major League Baseball and giving credit to the leadership of the NBA, how they're handling two different situations. So, as a sports fan, as a sports journalist, it's interesting to watch these two, especially in America, watch both of these things happen really on two different ends of the spectrum. Right. We're literally watching two different things with two different sports happen, and nobody has any real answers as to why. And we're just guessing why it's working for the NBA and why it's not working for NBL. So, I'm just thinking that
I can tell you why it's working for one. One's in a bubble, and the other one decided to try to let their people mingle with everyone else.
Here's the thing. I think that's on paper that's true, but it's impossible. Because the circumstances are totally different. You couldn't have asked the NBA to begin a season and play an entire half season in that bubble.
Right. You're right.
So we're literally talking about two totally different situations, and them just trying to finish something as opposed to another league that's trying to start something and extend it at least through 60 games, and then you have to play. If the NBA had to deal with that, they would never created the bubble. The bubble.
Right. You're right.
It's a short period of time. So there's two different circumstances that are operating under, but it seems like they're being treated as if they had the same circumstances to start off from, and they really didn't.
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. But I also think it speaks to Rob Manfred. Rob Manfred has made some his decision on the Orioles and the cheating scandal was horrible. And then he comes back when players are trying to get retribution. Because the Dodgers were one of the people that actually directly were hurt by Houston's cheating ways. Then you're going to suspend a guy for 8 games, which in essence almost is like a third of not even a third. It's about
a little more than a tenth of the season. And I mean, I just say, it doesn't make sense. It's inadequate. It's inadequate. You got somebody who cheated a World Series, but you basically gave them no penalties.
Well, I think that all of this is a true test of leadership.
Absolutely.
True test of leadership at every level, because what I've been saying is it's no matter what sport, it's all good until it ain't. It's all good until it ain't. It's all good while everybody is testing negative and you have no positive test, as is the situation in the bubble and all of that. But until it ain't, and until something happens like what is happening in Major League Baseball. So, Scoop, with that being said, if you were in charge of the NFL, what would you do at this stage? What calls would you make?
Well, I'll answer the question this way. One, I would try to have a relationship with the players similar to what Adam Silver has with the players in the NBA.
Yeah, that's number one.
That's number one, because I think a lot of times,
which is right hard, given who we're talking about. But anyway.
No, but seriously, because as we talk about leadership being at the center of this, it's also about a relationship between the Players Association in each league and the people, with ownership and the commissioner. So you have a cohesive and understanding relationship. Things can tend to get done, more comprehensively.
Yeah. Homogeneously.
But we know how this works between Roger Goodell does not have the same relationship with the players that Adam Silver does.
Right.
So what would I do?
Close.
It depends on what type of relationship I would have. And if I was commissioner, I would make sure I tried to have a relationship with the players that was similar to what Adam Silver has with the players in the NBA. And from there, we would be in negotiations and try to find a middle ground of what's working best for everybody. And the thing I think is different in the NFL, where Roger Goodell's not going to do anything, I think this Robert Manfred situation in baseball, is you have commissioners that are owner forward.
Right.
They not only work for the owner, their decision making always is owner first.
Right.
So you're asking me what would I do? I would try not to be an owner forward commissioner. I try to be a commissioner that let the players know, let my labor force know that I have them first and foremost. It's the difference between a principal at a school that looks out for the teachers as opposed to looking out for the kids.
Right. Right.
Once you establish that relationship, things can move forward. And I think, at this point, it depends on what the players tell me they feel comfortable with doing.
Right.
So I'm not trying to not give you an answer. I'm trying to give you an answer like, look, whatever I do as commissioner is going to be rooted in what agreement I can come up with as a player. I'm not going to try to dictate and sell something on them for the sake of making money first, for the sake of generating income, revenue stream, all the stuff that lends itself to the owners as opposed to what doesn't really lend itself to the player side of things.
I get that.
First and foremost, try to make sure that, owners and players always operated on a level playing field, and there was as much equality in decision making as can possibly be. That would be the first thing, and then I'll take it from there.
Now, given and you're listening to R&R on Sports on the Kazukian Network. So, given the level of contact in football, and I mean relationships being as it may, but football is football,
right?
So, given the level of contact in football, would you call it? Would you wait and see? And I mean, I'm asking.
I mean, it's a lot of players. A lot of players opting out.
Yeah, no, I get that. And it is a contact. It is a nonstop contact sport.
Right.
I'd have to really, really see
an intimate sport. I mean, there ain't no distance.
Ain't no distancing.
There can be distancing in baseball. It's not a contact sport, but you're looking at how, at least from a Florida standpoint, being in that hotbed in Florida.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So there's so many other variables that have to be taken into consideration when we're dealing with can this function or can it not function. And contact may be one thing. It's a matter of, to me, the breathing on one another and the possibility of contact and being able to,
In baseball, that's in a dugout.
Right.
Anybody that's ever played ball, anybody that's
Y'all
ever
in
been
each
in a
other's
dugout and spitting, and
that's a part
what
of
you do in a dugout.
Yeah, you spitting sunflower seeds
or whatever.
That's what I was getting to. How do you do in football, even though with the contact being made on the field? How do you deal and find that much space to socially distance 60
on the sideline? Yeah.
How do you do that and maintain that over the course of 3.5 hours?
Yeah, you got 100 people on the sidelines of a
You have to
football
put some
game.
folk up in the stands with the band.
Wait a minute, they ain't no band.
Oh, that's right. This is true. Where the band used to be.
Hey, fellas, let's be very real about this. You're also dealing with a large part of the football community that tends to side with the thought process of those in the Republican Party.
Yes,
that's very true.
Yes.
Very true.
The whole conspiracy theory, this is a fake, we don't need this. You have to battle that inside football. You know what I'm saying? They don't. One of the things that's making soccer succeed in other places outside of America, even though the MLS is doing this thing, but if you look at global soccer, the Premier League, all this, that, and the other, you don't having those problems because they understand the power that this disease has.
Right.
You have the backlash and you're invading my constitutional rights that you do have here in America with the arrogance that we display as being Americans. Now, that arrogance tends to go down a party line. We all know that.
Absolutely.
Right.
Football being quote unquote America's sport and that mentality carrying over into the game, especially at the NFL level, not only do we have to deal with finding a physical way to social distance individuals, we have to find a way to get the mental part past a lot of the people that are involved in the NFL and switch their mentality about this whole thing.
Well, listen, this is Iron On Sports, and we're here with Super Duke Robert Scoop Jackson of ESPN. But listen, we're going to take a break and we're going to come right back. Next time, we're going to talk about the bubble. We're going to go all into the NBA.
Ball?
Yeah, we're going to talk about
in
the
the bubble?
NBA. Yeah, balling in the bubble. And it's choices as to who's going to come out of the East and the West. So stay right there. We'll be right back in a second on R&R.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, one and all, to the little show that we like to call Black Nerd Power, BNP if you're nasty. I'm your host, Mr. Richard Douglas Jones, and with me, the co-hosts of Black Nerd Power, Mr. Marcus Seabury.
What's up, my nerd?
All nerdy, please. And Ms. Kimber. What's happening, man?
Hi.
All right, first, here is the rage figure.
I love his helmet.
Talking about escapism and like, yo, I'm mad, but I'm tired. Like, is it okay that, like, if instead of going out to protest tonight, I want to sit and watch a movie? I'm just like, hell yeah, it's fine.
A quote unquote woke romance that features a character that's not being like objectified for her body. That does not necessarily mean that book will not have sex in it.
And I think on that note, we're going to end the show.
Katsukian. Download the Katsukian app, available on Android and iOS.
Go ahead. Bring this back in, brother.
Welcome back to R&R Sports. I was just somebody was up under the table, but y'all ought to see
we are
what
serious, man. We are serious over here.
When anyway, so
Problem with what's going on in Kazuki.
Listen, man, we want to talk about the bubble
And balling in the
bubble. Once again,
what's your perspective on the NBA bubble and the restart of the season, Scoop?
and the quality of ball that is or is not being.
Man, this is AAU. Come on.
No, I think we're about to see what it's really about. I think there was a fill-out period during the the pre-season. That's what we call it. The pre-season.
Okay.
To an 8-game seeding situation. I think we got 22 teams. I think probably for everyone except for maybe 10 teams, these games mean something. Not only for team and positioning, but also for some teams even getting in. So we're going to see pre-playoff level basketball. I think some games, after every team gets like 2 games under their belt, the last 6 games, we're going to see some for real basketball.
I think so as well. I agree with you totally.
Yeah, and I do applaud the NBA for at least taking a chance on at least making this happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what we were saying earlier about the commission. He's like, look, man, we're going to do everything we can to at least try to make this happen. You know, we're not going to tell you have to do this, not going to say you have to do it, but this is my way of trying to at least finish something that started and at least listening to the players and collectively, you know, they say, hey, you know, with all the safety measures you took into consideration, let's try what we have to lose, but also keeping the owners happy by at least knowing that at least you tried to create some revenue streams, so we're not going to lose the whole season. So I applaud the NBA for the effort. If it doesn't finish out, it seems like so far the test period of what they've gone through is very successful. And I think now that once the real games are in play, the seeding games are in play, through the period where it was time to like just not be focused is over with. Now it's time to really focus. That the protocols they've been following is about to be followed by everybody now because now it's actually at stake. You know, in the beginning, I said they probably had a 60% chance of finishing this thing. Now, I think they really have probably a 90% chance of finishing this thing.
Oh, wow.
Right. So I'm excited to see that and still want to continue to get a props for at least having the effort to start it. But I think more importantly, I don't want to say, really more importantly, is how the players, and I'll give the WNBA, pull the WNBA in this too, how they are using this space to continue the conversation, the energy, the spirit, and the engagement of the movement that we're all a part of right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me ask you a quick question in there. When you think about how you talked about the relationship between Adam Silver and the players and how it's such a great collaboration, a partnership, maybe a better word. How important was Chris
Paul and LeBron
James in the process of
making this happen? Because they seem
to have taken a very vocal, position in making it and saying that they wanted to play. How important was that?
I think it was important. I think that, being the leaders that they are, especially LeBron, and him yielding the power that he does have, I think that spoke volume, to other players that may have been on the fence and thinking about it. And I think also that not only just LeBron's social active consistency over the years of his career played a role, but I think in this moment, it didn't seem like LeBron was being inauthentic, and he found a way to continue voicing his opinion on certain things that gave other players a gateway into how they could do what they wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? I think, and I'm not saying I know this, and I'm not trying to say anything out of pocket, but I think you have players such as Victor Oladipo or Malcolm Brogdon, who are like, okay, I already know how I feel about it, or CJ McCollum, I already know how I feel. I'm gonna do me, but if LeBron's doing it, I'm definitely, I could go all in. I think that played a role. And some players are like, you know what? What's going on here is more important than basketball. But if LeBron, who's always, been out there out front and taking some hits that a lot of people in the position are not willing to take, if he's out there on front, then I'm all in with that, because now I can totally do what I want to do inside and still concentrate on basketball. So I think LeBron's decision to play and use this space, over the next couple of weeks of finishing the basketball season as a platform gave a lot of players who were on the fence about it a chance to say, all right, I'm all in. I think Chris played a role in that too. But I think somebody else we also need to take consideration, because Adam Silver made this very upfront.
Right.
And that was the role Michael Jordan played with the owners.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Adam Silver said Michael Jordan had the strongest voice in the ownership room when they decided for what they wanted to do.
Oh, wow.
Because in the moment being the only black one in the room, but also being the only player.
Right.
And taking both things into consideration, what Michael Jordan brought to Adam Silver was very, very upfront about how Michael's role also probably yielded the same power as LeBron and Chris Paul did, but on the ownership side of things and not the player side of things.
Wow, that's good. That's good to hear, and that's particularly good for him to hear because he talks badly about Michael, like he just left everything. And
no, I just think he's just a despicable guy. I mean, he's just a despicable guy, man. I think the way he treated his folks was horrible.
I don't think he represented leadership in a way that I think,
if you want to say that winning is it,
despicable yet today.
Not necessarily today, but I'm saying the fact of way he was treating his players and his teammates back in the day.
So
I just think there's a better way to do it.
So Scoop, talk about what you think about the WNBA and walking off the court before the national, not being present during the national.
Couple that with the Atlanta. What's the Atlanta Sparks? I can't think of what the last
team name.
Horrible.
Yeah, but the WNBA with what's her name? Kelly Loeffler, the owner.
Yeah.
Who's literally been outspoken against the dream against the Black Lives Matter movement.
Well, one, for the WNBA, I'd expect nothing less. If they've always been, and women's sports in general seems to always be 2 or 3 steps ahead, when it comes to social movements and dealing with things that a lot of male athletes tend not to lean in on.
Mm-hmm.
So, for them to, do what they did, as far as like not even being present during the national anthem, I'd expect nothing less. That's the way they roll, and so that wasn't a big deal to me. Not at all. And if anybody who follows WNBA thought it was going to be different, then shame on you, because that means you're not paying attention to what they've been doing, and women basketball players have been doing for the last 15 years.
I think speak about the ownership. To speak about the ownership, though, the ownership.
The clapback that she got was necessary.
Okay.
Clapback.
Do you see players really wanting to play for the Atlanta Dream?
Well, I think there's other ways to voice your opinion, because here's the thing. You have to make a decision, especially in times like this. Is somebody you play for bigger than your career or bigger than the game itself? Now
that would work with Donald Sterling, though.
No. Nobody stopped playing for Donald Sterling. Keep that. That's what I'm saying. Nobody stopped playing for him.
They pretty much disassociated him with the team quickly, though. And so.
Wait. It helped a lot when he got ousted.
Yeah.
But you really think that had he stayed there, the entire Clippers team would not have played?
I believe they would have forfeited some games. I believe they would have stopped playing. I think if he would have stayed, if Adam Silver hadn't stepped in and made the decision that he made, and then LeBron saying that he has no place in our game, I believe that those players would have set out a few games until that decision was made.
I disagree with you only because of the situation that we're in, because it was during the playoffs.
At least I'd like to think that anyway.
The rebel side of me.
The black militant part of my heart would say that I would love to think that Chris Paul and those fellas would have said, until this dude is gone, we not playing.
Brothers are graduates
of the Jesse Jackson School of Keep Hope Alive.
I don't think they would have done it in that moment. The same thing I'm saying with the WNBA. Because of circumstances, I don't think anybody's going to lead the Atlanta Dream right now. I think the next season, same thing I'm thinking with the Clippers. Next season, we're done. But we're going to complete this because who we play for is not bigger than the game.
Mm-hmm. Right.
In this moment. That's all I'm saying. I expect WNBA players for this season, as shortened as it is, as the conditions that they have to play under, as the platform that they're given right now, they're not going to let an owner be bigger than their messages and the game of basketball. Starting next season, they'll be like, no, we're not playing for her. Period.
Right.
But now in this moment. And I say about the Clippers. I said, this is the playoffs. They had a legitimate chance of winning the championship that season. They're like, look, let's finish this mission and then give the figure to Sterling after this is over. But right now, we're in this together and we're gonna do this. So that's all I'm saying. It's like I think they did, but not in that circumstance right then.
I think it's a beautiful thing to me that the WNBA gets the fundamentals right. They get it right in terms of play, and they get it right in terms of politics. So I think that's a very, very cool thing. I think there's a lot to learn from the WNBA and their players.
I couldn't agree more, but I think what we're about to see on this
wrapping up this bubble piece,
I think we're about to see some of the most
amazing basketball we've ever seen.
You do? I think, because I think there's the lack of distractions is going to allow these players to lock in a way that I don't think we've ever seen before. What you think, Scoop?
What we're going to see is what will come out of this, and that's the one thing I love about playoff basketball in the NBA. Everything gets exposed.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
So what we're about to find out now, with that theory in place, is what real leadership looks like.
You got any favorites or dark horses? Or any favorite?
But because it's not distractions, and because we've never been in a situation like that, neither have the players, who's going to be the one that keeps his team locked in throughout this whole process?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Not like drift off and never lose focus or purpose of why we're doing this. And that's going to come down to leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, the team who has the strongest leadership is probably going to be the team that comes out of this thing successful.
And that team is?
That's a good question.
Come on, man. Come on, make a prediction. East and West. Please give me the East and the West.
Here's my thing. I'll say this. I think that the Boston Celtics and the Clippers are going to be in the NBA Finals.
I know.
And out of those two teams, I think the Clippers are going to come out.
Whoa. Okay.
Interesting.
Clippers beating the who in the finals of the East or the Western Conference?
Oh, the Lakers, without question.
Okay. All right.
An LA final.
And I'm only saying that because the Lakers, as much as you want to me, balance these teams out and look at them and like match them up, because playoffs are all about matchups and all this and the other stuff, especially when you're dealing with 7-game series.
Right.
They don't have it. Lakers do not have an answer for Lou Williams. And in a 7-game series, all it takes is 2 Lou Williams games to tip an entire series. Because they don't have an answer for him. They don't.
I don't know.
J.R. Smith now. You got J.R.
Smith now.
He can't. J.R. Smith, cannot score at the volume.
No, but I'm playing his
defense. I'm saying he's a 3-and-D.
He's 3-and-D.
J.R. Smith, although he's been out,
I still think J.R. Smith
can put that lockdown D.
You really do think he can lock down Jake?
No, well, I don't think he's going to lock him
down, but I'm saying I think he can
prevent him from going off like Lou Williams has in the past.
Once again, when a series is this tight and this meaningful and these teams are this locked in, it's not even Lou Williams having a big game. He can have one big quarter. You know what I mean? Change the whole trajectory. Because you all know, Lou can get hot and be unstoppable. He's been unstoppable throughout his whole career when he wants to. This is the first time in his career he's ever had to play for something. Think about that.
Well, listen, we got to wrap up. We got to wrap a second, but now we're gonna keep him here for a couple more minutes as we wrap up the show. So listen, we're gonna go right to break. We're gonna come back with my man Scoop Jackson.
And look, as a part of us wrapping up the show,
it's his family, man. It's his family. So listen, we're gonna come
right back and we're gonna let
Scoop finish up his statements on the bubble, balling in the bubble.
That's
on
right.
On Sports.
While we in break, our producer's gonna beat the hell out of this man. So we'll be right back after this.
Funky Politics. Hey, Funky Politics fan, it is DC. What a week, what a month, what a year. 2020, y'all. The information we give you here is always entertaining and it's always educational. And look, let me tell you something. We got more great shows coming your way.
That's the weirdest stuff I've ever seen in my life. I don't even understand, how do you do that?
So make sure you stay tuned for more Funky Politics. Funky Politics, powered by the Kazuki Network. That's right, folks. We're funky sometime. We funky your time. We funky all the time up in here. So make sure you stay tuned for more Funky Politics.
Check out all your Kazukian favorites now. Download the Kazukian app, available on Android and iOS.
All right, back with more R&R on Sports. Larry has been banned from talking because he messed up in the last segment. And so you got me. Scoop, take about 10, 15 seconds and talk about your book and tell them how to get it.
Oh, no, the book is called The Game is Not a Game, The Power, Politics, and Politics of American Sport. You can get it through the publishing company, Haymarket, books.org, or on Amazon or any book, centric site that, you buy books from online right now.
All right.
You can get it there, but, I say Amazon or Haymarket books.org are the two.
Well, we ain't got no books, man. We ain't got no books. Scoop, we appreciate you, man. Always. Thank you very much for being with us here on R&R on Sports.
Yes, a question.
Yeah.
Did Kazuki get any of that Spotify money going around for podcasts? What happened?
Well, I think what happened prior to us going on air should answer that question for you.
Hold up, man. Y'all can't keep talking about my company like that. What's wrong with y'all? We got some Procter & Gamble money. Now.
That ain't what he
Yes. Well, we're going to get some Spotify
money. We're going to get some Spotify money
too.
So we can get some better equipment. I told you, hey, man. Hey, we got to get some Acme show.
Some Acme stuff, man.
Listen. Shout out to CT Vivian.
Acme
Shout out to CT Vivian. And come on,
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And John Lewis.
John Lewis
absolutely, man.
Vivian.
Listen.
I had the pleasure of meeting and knowing both of them, along with the Reverend James Lawson, who at Fisk taught them the principles of nonviolence and all of that. And
he's going to need to teach me some nonviolence because I'm about to move some furniture around in here if you keep disrespecting me and my team up in here.
All right. Yeah, he's scared. He got scared. But no, two giants. In everything, in every respect.
Let's scoop out the last word since we got to go, man. Find the app on Kazukian, on App Store, on Google Play.
I thought y'all told him.
But Scoop,
man, listen, man.
Scoop, take us out, man.
Take us out, Scoop.
Shout out to Radio Shack. There you go.
Listen, come back next week. R&R, same bad channel, same bad time. And we out.
Y'all take care.
Peace.
Peace.